Welcome back. I'm Jacob Earlbaum, and what a finish today at the JMA Wireless Dome, where Syracuse hosted the UConn Huskies in an absolute nail-biter. After a slow start, the Orange rallied and secured their first win of the season in dramatic fashion. Our Danny Kramer is live in Syracuse with more. Danny?
Yeah, thanks, Jacob. Fran Brown will, in fact, get the shower after winning this one, but Syracuse fans, they might need one as well, as they were sweating this one out here at the Dome. The Orange found a way to battle back against the Huskies, but it did take overtime. We take you to the start of the second quarter. We're still scoreless, and with offense not coming easily, the Huskies go deep in their playbook. How about a double pass to strike first? It's John Nider hitting a wide-open Alex Honig to make it 7-0. Later on that quarter, a high snap deep in UConn's own territory would give Syracuse a sign of life. A big special teams play had fans hoping this would ignite the offense. However, after that turnover on downs resulted in only a field goal, running back Mel Brown shows off his breakaway speed and tries to break this game wide open. The speedster's 45-yard touchdown would make it 14-3. It would take until the fourth quarter for Syracuse to get its own explosive play. Steve Angeli placing this ball perfectly in stride for Justice Ross Simmons, cutting it to 17-12. But that proved to be the spark the Orange offense needed. Yasin Willis takes it into the end zone to cap off a 10-play, 80-yard drive following a UConn punt. The Huskies would find a way to send it to overtime, but the Angeli-Ross Simmons connection would strike again. Absolutely great concentration to keep the feet in bounds there. Ross Simmons turning into the go-to guy late. Now it was the defense's turn, and with one more stand, the Orange would survive a potential upset and walk away victorious 27-20. Wins will hopefully come easier in the future, but head coach Fran Brown knew what his team needed to do to come back in this one.
I told the guys, I said, listen, we're going to have to stop them 4 times on defense. We got to stop 4 possessions in the fourth quarter, and then on offense, we're going to have to score 3 times. And if we do that, we'll have an opportunity of winning. And I just, I said that to them, and I just tried to look them all in the eyes. And I think we all believe in each other, right? I think the more we fall in love with each other and understand each other, the better you'll see us playing for each other, right? Because if we keep going through games like that, I'm gonna age really, really fast.
Head coach Fran Brown may have been half joking about the stress of today's game, but even with the win, he's already focusing on improvement.
And Danny, Coach Brown clearly knows his team needs to be better, but has he said anything about what exactly the Orange might need to improve ahead of their game against Colgate?
Yeah, Jacob, obviously week to week you're always focused on, shoring up those technicalities, but for the most part I think he's more concerned with consistent effort. He really cited guys not finishing plays as much as maybe he would have liked to, and we saw that after the game. He had, even after a win, all of his guys running end zone to end zone sprints, even after a win. Now, not as much punishment, maybe just showing a little bit more will to actually improve and really shore up before an FCS opponent, where SU fans are expecting more dominance.
And this was an overtime comeback, but would you consider this a big win for Syracuse? I know it's an inferior opponent, but they're trying to build momentum earlier in the season.
A big win, not so much. I think it's really the floor for Syracuse. I think taking it more in the perspective of a morale booster, right? This could have turned into a pretty ugly loss for a team that was expected to come at home, home opener, JMA Wireless Dome, max capacity, and really just stomp out the UConn Huskies. Instead, you end up having to climb back, but you showed resilience, and that's a positive really to take, a half-glass full approach. Hopefully, with that FCS opponent coming up next, we see on paper the numbers, but more importantly, the eye test as well, and hopefully a big win here for the Orange in the coming week.
Well, Danny, we appreciate it as always, and we'll have to wait until next week to see if the Orange can clean things up against Colgate, but be sure to stick around for your weather forecast coming up after the break.
Syracuse football picked up its first win of the season at home today over the UConn Huskies in major comeback fashion. Welcome into sports, I'm Danny Kramer. Our Jacob Earlbaum was inside the JMA Wireless Dome earlier, and he has more on the comeback victory for the Orange. Jacob?
Yeah, Danny.
Yeah, Jacob, they'll take the win, but you mentioned the slow start offensively for Syracuse, and I want to ask you specifically about the play from quarterback Steve Angeli. He finished with 416 passing yards and 2 touchdowns along with an interception. Tell me what you saw from him, despite the fact that it took Angeli and the offense some time to get going. All right, so let's turn to the defensive side of the ball in the second half. What changed for Syracuse, and how did the defense give the Orange a chance to get back in that game? All right, so all in all, a big win for the Orange to avoid the 0-2 start. Jacob, thanks as always for your insights. That'll do it here for sports. We'll have your weather on the other side of the break.